Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to AskGolfNut channel, and welcome to Wilson Dynapower Carbon Driver. I've already done the standard normal titanium driver that can be found on my channel. Dynapower Carbon Driver differs to the titanium one on one main basic thing. It's carbon, and so the whole idea of the carbon is to take weight away from the crown and certain sole sections so they can stick it in different weight placements so they can try and get the spin profile as advantageous as possible. This one is the lower spin profile than the standard titanium. That is a slightly higher spin profile, slightly draw bias. This is more neutral and also lower spinning. We have an AI face, so a computer has worked out how thick certain parts of the face need to be, so certain sections are thinner than others. So when you hit the middle, it comes off at a certain speed, obviously because that's been governed, but when you don't hit the middle, you don't lose too much ball speed from those off-center hits. When it comes to the off-center hit, guys, well, I will be doing my normal testing where I whack it all over the face, see how forgiving this thing is. Now, when it comes to forgiveness, generally speaking, we're looking at the retention of ball speed than anything else. Again, if you're going to point the face in different weird directions, again, the golf club doesn't know where target is. When it comes to the hosel, we've got a 6-way adjustable hosel, so you can change the specs on it when it comes to loft. I've got this in the 9-degree head. Again, it will go up and down. If I can get the specs, I'll stick it up on the screen for you all to see. Right, so let's go get the simulator on. Let's go give the Wilson Carbon Driver a whack to see how well it works. Simulator is now on. We are at Glenfora Golf Course, hole 1. It's a par 4, 340 yards. Suits a draw for this hole, dogleg right to left. And not having the greatest day today, so it's a bit of a narrow fairway down the bottom there, only about 25 or so yards wide. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to see if I hit this fairway or not. The interesting thing with this one is carbon everywhere. On the sole you can see carbon, and on the top you've got on the crown, it's carbon. Everything is carbon to save weight, etc., but it says and shouts carbon. We have the Wilson logo at the bottom. It's the Wilson shield with the WS. The interesting thing is on the blade side of things and on the players, on the blade and the CB, that WS is gone. When it comes to the Dynapower, the forged and the standard Dynapower cast, that WS is still there. They're just getting rid of it, so a little bit of a shift for Wilson. That's all the looks done. Let's go see how it feels, because down by the golf ball it does look quite nice with that carbon crown looking at you. Yep, that's not necessarily the shape I want to see. It's getting very close to those trees. I think we're clear. Pins on the left. That was lucky. Club path is 0, face is baby open and a slight heel as well. I am not on form today. If the form you want me on is miss hits and face control, which is poor, then yeah, today is the day. So feel on that was, again, it's a weird one. You can distinctly tell it's carbon. Absolutely, you can tell it's carbon. There's not a high pitch ting, but there is a bit of a crack to it. Where's that tee gone? It's an interesting one. I've literally just done the Cobra Dark Speed X, and that is much more muted. This has definitely got a little bit of an audible pop to it. 270 yards, which is not too bad for a 10-mil hill, 4-mil high. 1.44 efficiency, so that's 14mm. We'll be doing the full-on forgiveness testing in a little while, but spin 2.3, can't complain too much on that one, but 270, wow, it's not too bad whatsoever for a miss hit. And 2 for 2, miss hits. This one's slightly high toe, and the next one, yeah, I'm having one of those days. That is not the shape. Club path is slightly across, face is slightly open. We have a slightly high and slightly toe strike, a mix of complete mess. But again, I suppose when you're playing golf, you don't play good golf every day, and definitely not today. But feeling wise, again, I can feel it's not on the middle. I can feel it slightly high toe. It is definitely, you get that pop, that crack from this. It's not like a titanium ting, it's a definite crack. It's interesting sound. It's not something that I'm normally used to, especially with the carbon ones. Trying to get the path a little bit better. Yeah, just literally sneak peek, path is better. Face is exactly the same, 2 open. Club path is 0.1, yeah, face is 2 open. Strike was much better, which means it basically just pushed right 14 yards. I mean, that's 14 yards offline. That's not a bad shot whatsoever. But we're in the rough, and this is the thing, when you're looking at such a tiny fairway. Where's that tee gone? Found it, hiding in plain sight. So, I mean, that's a little bit unfair, really. We are talking 14 yards offline, but I mean, it's still, we need to be drawing it slightly for the shot shape. Again, if your shot shape is not a draw, aim more down the left and let it fade. But 278, really good distance. I can't complain with that one whatsoever. Now, this is the lower spin profile one, so I would expect it to possibly spin a bit lower than that. Maybe an interesting one. Again, when we're looking at low spin heads, for me, they're normally sort of low 2000s, which I do get my full distance for. So 278 isn't bad. I can't complain about that one in the slightest, but I mean, still, well, I thought it'd be a slightly lower spin than that. That's the shot shape you want. As I shot shaped it too much. Possibly, yep. In the left trees now instead. Path 0.7 across, face 0.4, yeah, so just trying to do a little bit more turn. 2mm hill, 12mm high, so slightly higher on the face, that one. Where's the tee gone? Over here. But it has gone 35 yards in the air and 39 degrees descent angle. Spin profile is now 2000 RPM. That's a much, much better spin profile. I am having to close the face down, and I'm also having to hit high on the face to get that 2000 spin. Carries 281. You would not complain whatsoever from that. I am having to use vertical gearing on the head. So basically vertical gearing, when you hit high or low on the face, the head will twist. And when it twists, you either gain or take away spin, depending on the strike. That's the right shot shape, just a little bit too far left. I mean, that's 25 yards left from our aim point, which is in the middle of the fairway. So yeah, it doesn't take much to miss. Now remember, PGA Tour is on average 30 yards left and 30 yards right. So if we stay within the 30 yards boundary, bearing in mind they're hitting 300 yards. And again, 281, 287 total distance because we pitched it in the rough. It would have gone 300. Should we have hit the fairway? Be interesting to see. High, slightly heel. Should carry well though. Yeah. Club path 0.7 across, face open by 1.1 degrees, that's all. 8mm heel, 7mm high, so not the greatest of strikes, slightly high, slightly heel. Generally speaking, slightly high toe is a little bit better for efficiency, spin profiles and stuff like that. But spin profile is not bad, 2064. So we're hitting high on the face. I'm using vertical gearing to try and reduce the spin. Again, I've been hitting this a little bit before filming, and I have noticed that the spin, at my normal speed, we're 109, so I'm warming up. 110 is normal, but I'll be doing the different swing speed test like I normally do, rather than just doing the forgiveness test. I'll test this at 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour, just to see how well it works. We'll give this one more hit to see if we can stick it in the car park or something like that, because again, not the greatest day today. Yeah, car park coming. There's the shot out to the right where we're going to be playing recovery shots. And that's the bad idea. I know in a round of golf I'm going to get the odd birdie or two, but I don't really want to waste on these recovery shots. Club path 1.2 across, need to work on that a bit. 1.5 open, there's the fade. 9mm heel, there's even more fade, and 2mm high. So, I mean, okay, it's not the greatest thing, but spin's now up at 2.6 nearly, which again, with all those, you'd expect it. And 40 yards in the air and 44 degrees descent angle. So 44 degrees descent angle would work brilliantly if we're talking about like power bat, 7 irons, etc. We're not, we talk about driver. And so that's the pilot, not necessarily the stick. So, right, let's go give this a whack a load of times around the face. See how forgiving it is, yes. So I've done a little bit today so far, not the greatest of strikes. Let's go whack it a bit more. Let's go see how it really works off center hits. Also, let's go do the test at 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour. Let's go see how well this Wilson Dynapower Carbon driver works at different swing speeds. Let's go see how the Wilson Dynapower Carbon driver got on when I hit it at 3 different swing speeds, 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour, and I've also captured some miss-hit information as well. So when you don't hit the middle, and I haven't been hitting the middle great today anyway, but when you hit it from much further off the middle, how forgiving is this carbon driver, which is their lower spinning head, which is also sometimes a little bit less forgiving. So we'll test how well that works. But first of all, you can see up on the screen now, I've got the 3 different swing speed information. I've got the red, the yellow and the blue. Red is 90, yellow is 100 and the blue is 110 miles an hour. The reason I do that is obviously not everyone is lucky enough to swing a driver at 110 miles an hour. So capturing at 90, 100 and 110 hopefully captures many, many more people. But you can see how it performs. Let's go straight to the important bit. Carry 222 on the 90, 249, 27 yards more on the yellow, the 100. but then it's down to 22 yards gain on the 110. Now, there's a slight tiny difference in strike, there's a slight tiny difference in loft, there's 1 degree, we'll get into that in a second, but effectively the big difference here is the spin rate. You've got the jumps in ball speed that you would normally assume, 131 to 145, so that's 14. Then you've got another 14 or so between 145 and 159. That does not change. What changes is the spin rate. You've got 1,965. It's not even 100 RPM off of 2000, so let's call it 2000 RPM for the 90, 2.3.5 for the 100, and then 2.7.5. You can see the jump in the spin. We've got another, 400 as the speed goes up. That's normal. You can't help that. That's one of things called physics. And with spin, because spin is a weird thing when it comes, it's not a linear thing when it comes to its reduction in carry distance for a driver. It has a bit of an exponential difference, so as soon as you get past that spin rate, that's why spin is so important. Too little is as bad as too much, and so we have that difference in spin rate, so there's a slight difference in the carry numbers. But as you can see by the Clubhead data, 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour, we have got efficiencies within 0.01 of each other. We've got attack angles within 1.9 degrees. Again, I'm trying to swing at 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, 110, and keeping everything exactly the same with driver is not the easiest thing at all. Club path again within 1.5 degrees, and face to path is within 0.1. So that's the important one, the fact that I'm not giving any kind of tilt axis through face to path discrepancy. And then we have loft. We are within 1 degree. From 19.8 with the 90 miles an hour all the way to 110 miles an hour being 18.8. So we're talking 1 degree of difference in the whole thing. And then we're looking at the difference in face impact between 1 mil toe, 2 mil high, 6 mil heel, 2 mil high, and 1 mil toe, 4 mil low. So within reason, very small amounts. But the big thing is here that the fact that this is the low spin driver, and if you compare this, yes, to its titanium brother, it does spin lower than its titanium brother, but the titanium one is a slightly higher spin profile anyway. And so what they will suit different golfers. That's the whole idea of making different models, that companies want to make sure they capture as many different golf as they possibly can do. And if you need something which is going to reduce spin a little bit more, then definitely that's the one for you. When it comes to this, if you compare this to the titanium at the same swing speed, we are give or take about 400 RPM less on the carbon than we are on the titanium. Right, let's go have a look at how well it gets on from off-center hits. First of all, we need to find out how well it works from the middle. We've got one here, 0 mil low, 3 mil toe, so within 3 mil exactly middle. We've got a 0.9 open face, so we have to be aware of the 0.9 open face and a 17.1 degrees of loft. So we've got a slightly open face, but we also have a slight decrease of loft, which will always add to efficiency. So one cancels the other out, and we got 1.46. So within reason, I've hit enough 1.46s with this golf club in and around the middle to know that 1.46 within reason. Remember, this is a camera-based system, this is quad, it's different to a radar-based system. They measure things at different points. So like for like, the head speed will always be slightly lower on a radar-based system than will be on a camera-based system. Different points of measurement, effectively, that's all it is. 1.46, very good. Right, let's go heel, shall we? 21 mil heel, 7 mil high, so 28 mil gross off the heel. Not very good, I think you would agree. 1.39. We do have an open face by 1.5 degrees, and we have a loft of 15.8. Again, one would discount from the other one as such. So you'd take the 15.8 degrees, which is less loft, but they have an open face by 1.5 degrees. Marry the two off, no real difference. 1.39 from 28 millimeters bias towards the heel. And that's really quite good. It didn't feel very nice, I might add that, but that's not bad. It's losing 0.07, but that is 28 millimeters away. That's over an inch away from middle, so it hasn't done bad whatsoever. Carrying of 260 yards at a swing speed 107, so if at 110 miles an hour, we were carrying on average, 271, so it's really not losing hardly anything at all, so it's doing very well. If you go crazy heel, I mean, I really shouldn't add this one in there, because that was nearly on the shaft adapter, that was on the loft adapter nearly, that's so bad. 35 mil heel, 5 mil high, 40 millimeters gross, 1.30. I am not surprised now that it's crying a little bit. I mean, that is a daft one, but people do hit from there. And for it to do a 1.30, yes, we are now losing 0.16 of its efficiency, but I think everyone would agree you're going to hit there. There is hardly any trampoline effect on the hosel. So it's done very, very well for a bit of fun capture. So we've got one here, 15mm low, 5mm heel, so 20mm gross, but low on the face. 1.41, so we have got a face which is 1.2 degree close and a loft which is slightly lower at 16 degrees. So you have to take that into account. So you look at 1.39, 1.40 if you were to take those off, but still 15mm low, 5mm heel, 20mm, it's basically just over 3/4 of an inch gross off of middle, and it's low on the face. And it's doing, okay, is it launching lower? Of course it is, 8.6 degrees and spinning at 2.3, which is actually not bad whatsoever. But we are talking about the fact of roll and bulge. As soon as you hit low on the face, there is less loft on the bottom of the golf club, and so it will launch lower. But it's actually done pretty well. 109.7 miles an hour, so within a mile an hour or so off our 110 mile an hour average. And it's losing 16 yards in carry from there. Not bad, not bad at all. Let's just go to a nominalised toe, a 14mm, but it's a 10mm toe, 4mm low, but that's a normal toe hit. Nothing really bad, but just a normal toe hit. Club path is 0, face is 0.4, so that's really good, and then 17 degrees of loft, so we've got a fraction less loft, that's all. 1.44, so even if you do with the loft, you take a 1.43, that's only losing 0.03 from a 14mm. That's an in and around middle miss, and so it's doing very, very well on those, no problem whatsoever. If you push it now a little bit more toe, 22mm toe, 2mm high, otherwise known as now a cool inch bar a millimetre or so away from middle, 1.41. So we have a 17 degrees of loft, which is slightly less than our average, and a 1.2 degrees open face. So again, one would cancel out the other one. So 1.41 is a proper capture, and it's really quite good. 1.41 from an inch off the toe, even though it's losing 0.05 from our maxed out, from an inch off the toe, gross, that's, again, it's doing very, very well. I mean, we're 109.5 mile an hour clubhead speed, which is about a mile an hour, less than what our average was, and we're at 268. That's only 3 yards off our average from like an inch off. Yeah, it is pretty good. For a low spin driver, this is actually pretty forgiving. The reason is because, generally speaking, the spin profile on this driver is not as low as what most low spin drivers are, so you will get away with a little bit more wiggle room, shall we say. And let's finish off one with a slightly high in the face, 11mm high, 1mm heel, so a normal high miss. Again, you haven't got that much room on the top, as though you haven't got that much room on the bottom of the golf club. You've got much more room left and right. So 11mm high, 1mm heel, so half an inch or so off of middle. Face is 0, and loft is slightly under at 16.2, so we have to bury that one into 1.41. So even if you do with the loft and say 1.40, 0.06 from a high strike, of course you're going to get vertical gearing. That's launching at 13.3 degrees, but it's spinning down now at 1950. And this is the thing, you've got a clubhead speed of 111.7, so just a fraction faster than our average, but 281 carry. So we're actually 10 yards over our average on the basis of a miss hit because of the vertical gearing. And this is the crux of it for people at different speeds. This is why it's imperative you get custom fit. And it's also imperative you get custom fit for the right baseline spin rate. Now, for me personally, this is fractionally too high a spinning for what I would need to get the maximum out. However, if you look at this from an amateur's point of view, or at least a even half decent amateur's point of view that does have miss, they want a baseline spin rate to make sure that when they do miss hit it, they don't get themselves in trouble. If you think with a low spin head, the imperative on low spin to try and get maximum distance is great, but if your middle shot is for your maximum, and then you hit something high on the face, which then vertically gears the spin down, you're then going to hit those knuckleball flights and they're going to fall out the air. This is a classic thing with the old SLDR, when this whole low spin, sub-zeros and everything started off. It got to a point of where people were hitting the middle and just hitting bomb balls. Absolute, something longer than they've ever hit before. Change of technology, change of idea, and it worked really well. The problem is the baseline spin level was way too low, so as soon as you miss hit slightly on the top of the face or anywhere on the face like toe as well, that's going to have the effect of gearing the spin off the golf ball. That golf ball is falling out the sky and you are losing massive amounts of distance because the golf ball falls out of the air. Looks wise, I actually prefer it. Obviously the carbon, I quite like the look of carbon. I mean, we're used to carbon now. The titanium is starting to come away. We are talking about cost, etc. Yeah, the carbon I think is a little bit more expensive than the titanium because of the extra technology within the head, trying to put more expensive materials into the driver so they can move mass, etc. When it comes to performance, it is a slightly higher spin profile for a low spin head for me, but again, that makes no difference. You can see in the numbers there that it all changes on speed. And if depending on what you want, again, this is the importance of getting custom fit. They come with different shaft options as well. You can quite easily get this Dynapower titanium or the carbon suited for your needs when it comes to flight and then forgiveness. As you can see, guys, I've hit this in weird and wonderful spots, and it's performing surprisingly well, considering this is supposed to be the lower spinning one, which is commonly the least forgiving as well. So hope you liked the video. If you did, go on, thumbs up. YouTube liked, so do I. Down there is a subscribe button. It's a great button. It's free. It's great for the channel if you could subscribe, so thank you. And next to that is a bell icon. That's a notification bell. If you click that one, that will notify you next time I upload another video. So hope you're well. We'll see you again soon.